morning, day 25, 25, what? Day 16 of recording myself every day. I woke up 5 and then did my, brush my teeth and stuff just to get ready. And then I cleaned my kitchen and house because my roommates just left for England, but they left a bunch of dishes out and a bunch of open food. So that's not really that cool, but I clean it all up because they're not going to be here for the next few days and I'm going to be the one living in this. And then also I realized they scheduled, or at least we have a cleaner coming today, but I'm the only one here, so I might be the only one who might be able to let her in, except for I'm going to have to leave for class, so I'm probably not going to be able to let her in. And I'll just say oh, can we schedule it another day, because I can't guarantee I'm going to be here at 10 a.m. because I have a class at 11 and need to leave for class. If she takes 30 minutes, I have to leave. Gonna start studying. Gonna keep this brief because I gotta just get to work. Probably not gonna time lapse or set anything up. I just need to grind and focus, and then on the way to school I'm gonna go through my slides, think about what topics I really want to touch on, and then that's it. I'll talk to y'all later. I don't know what time. I'm 5 hours of sleep, so I'm a bit tired, but gonna trek through today, and then I'll have a nice big sleep at the end of the day. I've practiced, so it's not like I can just come home after my exam and then focus on that. And then also in between, I have other work that I have to finish. Hopefully I can finish my report by today so I can just focus on studying this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday, and then Monday morning on my exam on Monday. Catch y'all later. What's up? Currently 9:18, on my way to school to do my presentation, and then I have about an hour break until I have my test for RL. I was doing the test for RL, and I feel like I am getting a lot better. I'm just getting a lot more familiar with the questions, and I think the more familiar I can get with the questions before I take the test, the better it will be. So that's good. And then the presentation, some girl messaged me today and asked if we had SEM. At first, I thought she was completely dumb because our entire what we're doing is running Google Ads, which is straight up just SEM. And then the worst part is she was one of the 3 people in our group who actually showed up to the meeting. So she should have at least been paying attention when the dude said we've run campaigns before, but they didn't work that well. So low bar. Business students at IE are not smart. And there's nothing that can change my mind at this point. Anyways, so gonna have to raw dog this presentation because I was given slides. The slides were absolute shit. I used Sora to make them better. They're still not great. And then I realized, I think this morning, or maybe last night before I went to bed, that we had nothing on the actual campaign, which is the entire fucking project. So I just added a slide so that we could actually fit it in and then say something about it. So I've kept saying it, the standards get lower and lower for group mates, which is crazy. And I thought I was getting nice because I didn't have to do any work, but it doesn't matter if the work is jack shit, that I still have to do work anyway. And I'm the group lead, so whenever someone has a question, they ask me. And I can't do everyone's part. Gonna hope this RL test goes well. I've been in my test, I thought the grading that I was showing was what grade I was getting, but I realized that's wrong. And I think it's just as you do better and as you see the same questions, how are you improving, I guess. But that's not how it is. So it's not a raw score. And my raw score of my most recent test was a 60. So I need to get a 50 to pass. If I'm getting a 60, that's all right, but I like to get a little bit of a higher score. I didn't get to do that many tests, probably about 10. And I talked to some other dude in the class, and he already did 45 before I did one. And thank God he told me, because I would have done like none. Wait, the camera looks really blurry. Or on my end. Stress lightly ends today, but not really, because I still have to edit my video after my exam, and then I have to do my report, which is due Sunday, with my group mate, and we're not even done with our project, even though I asked her to do this Facebook thing like 2 weeks ago, if not longer, but there was a problem, so we met up, and then the entire problem was her fault, like her part, and it was just like, wow. Slowly losing my mind. Oh, something I have realized though is that I feel like I've really had like a victim mindset recently, in terms of like, oh, why is all this shit happening to me? Like, oh, this shit sucks. Like, oh, I want, especially like with love, like, oh, I want someone to love me, like relationship wise. But it's like, fuck, bro. If I feel like that, I feel like no one will ever love me. So have to be confident alone. Have to be confident in myself, in my ability. In a relationship should only be like an extension. So I don't know. Just like stop being a bitch, basically. Alright, I'm almost at the metro, so I'm gonna let y'all go. Update. So I think last time I talked, I was going to school. Been a little bit. It's currently 6 p.m. So over and done with the presentation. It went well. Honestly, I think me doing these videos every single day has gotten me a lot better at just being able to bullshit and just talk, because especially no, I only had to talk in 2 presentations. So I was gonna say like, oh, as I was doing more presentations, I got better, but I only did the last 2 presentations, and I feel like they went well. Both of them went well, but I also gained more confidence as I was going along. Like I would have like 1 or 2 slides and then a break, and then I would have a few more slides after that. But even in the starting slides, I felt like I was just a lot better at coming up with stuff to say off the top of my head, and I would like to take my time and thank this YouTube channel for helping me get a little bit better at that. And then maybe when in like a few years, like it won't even like be like that big of a deal. And although I was a little bit nervous when I was talking in front of crowds, as I always have been, like fear of public speaking, like I feel like I did a lot better today and yesterday than I ever had. So the presentation went out right. Like we almost had nothing about our actual campaign, which was the entire project. And then I talked to some other girl like right before class, and I was like, oh, like I was literally complaining. I was like, oh yeah, no one in my group, like we didn't have a single thing on our campaign until I just added it. And she was like, wait, low-key, I don't think we have a single thing. And then it was so obvious that she just added it at the end, because it was just like a slide at the end. So it was kind of funny. But I don't know, IE kids are like not very smart, not very top of the line in terms of like intellectual ability. Then for the next like little bit, I kind of like reviewed my notes, because for my RL exam I was reviewing my notes because we didn't have access to the practice test anymore, because 2 hours before the test the teacher shuts down the practice test, so I couldn't do anything, and I had like an hour before the test. I went to go eat lunch, and then I was actually chilling with other people in the RL class. One dude who was in my initial group, super nice, pretty smart dude. His name's like Sadaf, I think is how you pronounce it. He's the only person's name I know in the class, but he's chill. And then I was staying with 2 other people, and they were just kind of chatting about like studying and stuff, and it was like a good time. Took the test, I got a 65%, which I think is actually either average or above average based on like some of the scores I saw. I saw some people with like 30%, and I was like, this is your entire major, how are you doing this? I'm a BBA with one, I'm taking this class literally for fun and didn't pay attention, and I did 10 of the tests, and these other people did like 80. There was apparently people that did over 100 tests, and people that did like, I talked to one dude who did like 89 tests, and he got like a 90, I think he got like a 94, and it's like, damn, like good for him. But like I could have gotten a 94 if I did the same thing, but like I started late. It was on me. It was my fault. I don't know. It's just like, how am I able to compete with these kids when it's not my major and I'm not studying? I don't know. Although I really do like RL, not the type that we were doing. We were doing a lot more theory. A lot of CS classes in university, in my experience, have been a lot more theory based. And honestly, that's just not really fun for me. I like building something. I like applying something to where I can see some like tangible results and be like, oh, like this is what happens when I use this, or this is what happens when I change this. That's just always been more appealing to me. But anyway, finish the class. We still have so I learned today that we have a thesis or like paper to write on something. We have a group. I met one dude in my group today. I don't know anyone else in my group, but I got his WhatsApp so we can communicate. After RL, I went to go eat dinner in the cafeteria. I brought my own food for lunch and dinner, so I didn't have to pay. Like I meal prepped a few days ago, and then I forgot to bring it yesterday, so I ate the meal prep today. I ate dinner, and then I came up here to a study room, talked to this dude who's from England. Like he was leaving the study room, and I was like, yo, are you leaving through the glass? And he was like, yeah. And then he sat and talked for like 20 minutes. He had some girl telling him like to come down so they could go buy cigarettes. He was a chill dude, very social. I can tell he was like an IR frat, not IR. He was an IR, but not like a frat, but like just like international relations major. Seems really like good at like socializing and stuff. So enjoyable. But I want to get my work, and I did some work on the individual project for building an online business, and then I had a Zoom call with my partner and then the teacher, and my partner's Wi-Fi is absolutely shit, so it took like so long. Like we didn't get the main thing we wanted to get done, like we didn't do, because her Wi-Fi wasn't working for 90% of the Zoom call. We actually bled over into the girl behind us, her time, and I felt really bad, but like I guess it's not that big of a deal. But honestly, I'm feeling like a little like fried, like mentally fried, which is like good, but I could either go to practice early right now and just sit there, which I feel like is not the move. Start the editing on my computer. I might just like upload everything. I have to edit yesterday's video. Either I'm gonna do that, I guess I'm gonna do that when I get home, and then tomorrow I can get really back into my routine in terms of like doing my daily habits and everything. Yeah. I'm not sure if I talked about this morning, but a big problem that I'm having in football is that I overestimate. I've been doing this, but I overestimate the ability of the opponents and I underestimate the ability of myself, so that I'm not playing at my best. Because I know I talked about this. I'm not sure if it was in the video last night or if it was in the video this morning, but that's something I really want to work on. I might even like ChatGPT deep research, like how do I do that, and then maybe share my findings either in a like blog for the calendar, because like I'm great, I could like write blogs on like how to be time efficient, how to be confident, how to like win, basically how to amplify you, because that's the overall like that's the overall app, is like to amplify the person. It's not gonna do it for them, but it's gonna help them become the person that they want to become. And in order for people to actually use the app, I have to market it, and in order for me to have good marketing, I'm probably gonna have to to see writing blogs as something as a, like when someone searches up like, oh, for example, how to get over like the fear of not being good enough, and then using ChatGPT, and then maybe reading some research papers on it. Yeah, feeling a little bit fried at the moment. Going to try to do work anyway. I mean, it's just going to be uploading. And then I have practice. I'm going to have to leave in like 23 minutes anyway, so it's not like I can do much. Been slacking on the recording, probably because
Like, I haven't really had the chance to, like, I've been at campus all day, basically. Like, I've been studying. I could have maybe time-lapsed myself this morning, or time-lapsed myself doing work. But, I don't know. I don't want to dip and, like, be shit in it. I just want this to be, like, a bad period because I was very stressed, very, like, focused on this. And then for me to recover and continue recording. But I still, like, I can't take off the pedal off the gas yet in terms of, like, straight balls to the walls work because I have my exam on Monday, and then also my report for building an online business, the individual report. Although it is due with my partner, like, honestly, I think I'm gonna have to do the majority of it, which is fine. And I mean, like, it's not hard. I'm mainly gonna be using chat. I may have to look up some, like, values in SEMrush because I don't know if we have any data on our keyword research, which was something we had to do. Although I took some pictures, so I think we should be fine. But, so yeah, just can't stop. I am a little bit tired. I've been up for 11 hours at this point, and I'm going to be up for another 5. I don't know how people sleep 5 hours a night. Wait, that seems so small. I'm only going to be up for another 5? Been up for 11 hours. Or like 16 hours. It's not even bad. Damn, I get so much sleep in a day, actually. I feel like entrepreneurs will often say about how they, like, worked on no sleep for so long. For me, sleep is so important. Like, I don't know, like, I just feel like shit. Like, I can still do the work, but, like, I just generally feel like shit. And especially for someone who's trying to do sports, you don't feel like shit all the time. And I had felt like shit. Like, I would wake up, I would be really sore all the time. Every single week, something different would be aggravating me. Since I've started athletics green, since I've started sleeping more, I've had no new, like, tweaks that have been, like, persistent, and I haven't gotten sick. Now, this might change because I am in, like, a high stress zone right now with my school, and usually after a high stress zone you tend to be sick, so I wouldn't be surprised if I get a little cold or something come Monday night, but even then I can't stop because I have work to do for the nutrition app. The people said I have to come up with, like, a product plan or a budgeted something. I'm gonna look up it was, like, some list of, like, it was a realistic budget based on their actual specifications for the app, and I think it's, like, scope of work. We're making a scope of work contract, and we want to get it in faster because they're going to be changing administration, which means they're going to be changing the people who sign, like, the documents. So she wants to get it in before those people change, which is fine. I think I can get that in next week. I just have to put it on my calendar. I should put it on my actual calendar. Something I should do is add integration so I can put Google Calendar on my. But that's, like, I need to get my calendar app. I need to get the calendar app, like, working first, and I don't have the features. I think as soon as I finish doing the documentation MVP1, I'm doing integration. Like, external data sources are gonna be the first thing I do, because that would just be so easy to have, like, to put Google Calendar on this, and it would be a very good integration. I'm just yapping at this point. These girls next to me are so fucking loud, it's annoying. And I feel like, I hope they can't hear me either, because I don't want people to hear me. Like, I want my own space to study, but these girls, like, they'll laugh so loud, and it's really annoying. I'm just kind of mumbling at this point. I'm just yapping on, so I'm gonna end it there. Maybe that shows how sleep deprived I am, just because I'm, like, not stop. But I'll talk to y'all later, probably when I get home from practice, recounting that. And then just, like, a quick thing before I go to bed, probably maybe me editing. I don't know. Hello, everyone. End of day 17, back home after practice. Practice actually went great. I feel like this is going to feel really weird to say out loud, but just, like, saying that, like, telling myself that I'm him literally makes me, like, play completely different. I I was going and like requesting the ball and then like being very active off and on the ball and just being like involved in the attack, and I felt like I was really making a difference. And sometimes I'll just kind of not hang in the back, but disappear into the shadows if I'm not like really going about it. And I was thinking about at USC when like I was playing my best, and honestly it was in like practices during 7v7, and during like those like practices during those practices I would one everyone like knew to pass the ball to me just because I have a really good shot. So, and it's like especially built for 7v7. So like I would go get it and people would be very willing to pass the ball to me cuz I would usually like score. So like trying to bring that same mentality of like I'm him, like just to practice and then to games, that's something I'm going to like continue to work on, and then try to apply it to the game, especially this weekend. We have an early game, 10 a.m. against a team that's apparently pretty good, so we'll see how that goes. It is an away game, so I'm not going to be as comfortable with the location, but we'll make do. I just got finished uploading yesterday's video. I At the end of the day, I was like super tired and I was like tweaking. I was by the end of the first clip after I get home, I'm like doing this, and it's just like, oh my god, like I look like I'm tweaking. I feel like I lost all the progress I've made with like talking to a camera and trying to like improve, but there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times when I'm bad, and then there's going to be times, especially when I'm tired, where I'm not going to do as well, which is okay. I just have to acknowledge that and try not to do it again. I'm tired right now, but I'm trying to look at the camera while I'm talking and then also not like look like I'm tweaking out. So that's a plus. Tomorrow I think I can go back to a little bit more of a normal routine instead of like skipping everything and just working, like being able to go to the gym and being able to work on my code for my project a little bit. Not my project, my app, my calendar productivity app a little bit. I'm a little bit tired, so the words don't come to me fluidly, let's say. I still have to journal, and then I'm going to read as I go to sleep, but I don't even know how long I can keep my eyes open. My eyes feel really heavy already. I do have to do my journal for the soccer journal, but my soccer specific journal, the post-practice reflection, but it's going to be very simple because I've already told you here, but the main thing I said going into the practice was that I wanted to practice having confidence in myself, and I feel like I did exactly that, but this is just the first step. It's not like I've solved this problem. It's going to continue to happen. I just have to be ready to meet it every single time. I have to get my mindset right before practices to like get me in the right mindset so that I can dominate practices, and then get me in the right mindset so that I can dominate games, and then continue to move up, continue to get better, continue to work hard. Yeah. Finished with Hell Week. It's a little bit lighter now. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Finished with Hell Week a little bit lighter now. I still have, yeah, I definitely said this. When did I say this? I have no idea. But need to study for my exam Monday. Do not want to fail that. I do only have class on Monday. Two classes though. One of them is more of an enjoyable class. I mentioned a few videos ago how we're going to be talking about neural networks, and then the other one is a test. But I think I still should be able to get all my studying in and be prepared. Plus, it's open note, but I have said previously I don't want to rely on my notes because I tend to do worse on those tests that I don't study for and just rely on the notes. I also should go through the code. This is kind of a reminder of myself because I'll be watching this tomorrow, but I should go through the code of the exercises and actually do them myself so I understand the code, or at least know how to do it in ChatGPT. The teacher did say we are open internet, but I don't think we're allowed to specifically post a question in ChatGPT. I don't know if that means we can post like sub parts of the question in ChatGPT, but I'm just going to assume that there is no AI, and then I'll just get like a, if it does come to that we can use it, just not specifically putting in the question, then it's like an added bonus and I'm prepared anyway. Gonna go to sleep, gonna get some good rest. Probably gonna allow myself to rest a little bit more because of the lack of sleep from the last night. But happy with how today went in terms of results. Happy with how today went in terms of like football results, and then excited to get back into like my regular routine and not be like super stressed. Day 17, right? Because I think I just posted day 16. Day 17. Good night.